Hello and welcome back to Horse Racing Today. I'm Rich, and of course that over there to my right, now to my left, just to confuse everybody a little bit, including Charles is charming. Charles in front of the snowy barn. What's happening, big casino man?
It's cold here still. That's all I can say.
Well, that's relative, I think, because it's like 17 here or something like that, 15, and I'm ready to go outside in shorts and a t-shirt after this minus 25 weekend. It feels balmy out there. Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah,
in fact, yeah. I'm ready to go golfing. Shorts, t-shirt, little SPF, baby. It's beautiful outside. Anyway, off to a little bit of a slow start this morning, folks. So we're going to get right into the racing today at Aqueduct. We're going to start off in race number 1. Mr. Charles, what are we running for?
Oh, we got a 6 furlongs. Maiden claiming 30,000. Purse is 36,000. This is for 4-year-olds. An upward fold in the state of New York and the state of registry, bred. So it's all for state breds.
State breds in New York, maiden claiming 6 furlongs, which favors stalkers. But a good 33% of the time, those horses go wire to wire. The rail is kind of weak, so maybe Independent Paul might not improve off of his 4-speed figure, minus 5 speed figure a year or so ago, more than that ago. 2 and 3 underperform. 4 through 7 get a small bonus so far, and this is going to be a theme you'll see for a lot of races, especially the sprints. 8 and out performs the best. We do 1,000 simulations using speed figures to generate our own odds. We're hoping to find post-time odds that are higher than our simulated odds. Based upon the output from our 1,000 simulations, we want to see how many times they run a speed figure, at least a projected one, above par. None have been able to accomplish that, the average winning speed figure being 78, according to Brisnet. Also 1,000 speed figures, calculating out the early speed to see who has the best chance to be on the lead. And then based upon those projected fractions, which horses in here should find this trip comfortable, at least close to or mirror some of their best performances. Charles, what do you see early on?
Well, looks like we have the 7 is going to get a 45% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. I believe that to be true. But you do have a couple other horses that might want to push that horse along with 5. And even the 3 will be pushing that horse along throughout. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 4 at 2, just slightly over 2 to 1. We have 3.5 to 1 morning line, and we have the 7 at just under 3 to 1. We have 6 to 1 morning line, which is a nice little overlay.
Yeah, we don't have much in the way of what I would call strong C-zone score numbers there, so maybe uncomfortable. Looking at the pace in terms of how horses like to run, so far the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 7 have not finished within 5 lengths of the leader. The finish line, the 2 is making its first start. Looks like the 6 wants to be forward. The 5 and the 8 want to close from these experienced horses. The 7, the 8, and the 5, those 3 should be forwardly placed in there. Charles, coming down the stretch, it does look like First Sons has a distinct advantage, 16 points over everybody else. That one can move forward off the jump. That'll be very difficult to contend with late. Also has the top C-zone score, 5 points clear of everybody else. We got about a minute, Charles, before they get into the gate, so tell us what you got.
Okay, I got the 4 as my top choice. They're adding the blinkers today, and Rudy Rodriguez gets 16% with that angle. Got a hot jockey the last 7 days, and it's this horse is bred to win early. 8 ran third last time out, drops in class, tactical speed to sit right there third. The 7, which I think has the speed of the race, will have at least at the quarter pole. Last speed rating will improve, but it fits in this group. And then the 1 is my final choice. It's been off a year, but very well bred, solid workout pattern. But I'm going to start off my pick 5 with my top 3 picks, with 2 in the second leg in my top 2, and my third leg, the top 3. Same thing with fourth leg is top 3. And then I got a single in that 5th and final leg.
I'm going to start with 4 Eyes, 8 horse, small class drop, been off for almost a year, but a bunch of decent works getting prepped, should be fit. Majestic Arc, this one has a pretty good chance to be up on the lead there. Charles, one of the better C-zone scores for the 4. First Sons has a total pace edge, 7 points clear of everybody else. It has that real late race advantage that we showed back here in the pace setup in here. Just needs to be a little bit closer to the front. Does have some nice work since its debut. So if it improves like a normal horse does in its second start, could be enough. And then finally, the 2, Ring Me, Charles, first timer, Recent workouts suggest that he's going to be involved early on in the race. I'm just going to do a try 7-8, 4-7-8 over to 2-4-5-7-8. Probably should have tossed a 1 in there too, but I think I spent all of my money later on in the card. I do think the beginning half has a chance to be a little bit chalky. Charles, what do you think?
Yeah, I do too. But I did try on my pick 5, threw in at least one price horse in there, who I think is the best price horse of the race, but I think it's chalk though.
So looking yesterday's free track at Guaranteed Tip Sheet was Tampa Bay Downs. Hope you played it. Look at all these winning tickets yesterday at Tampa Bay Downs. A lot of them, including almost an $11,000 pick 5, taking our top picks into account. And then today we're going to do Sunland Park as the free track. Hopefully we have somewhat success similar to that. You can get a link to that down in the description down below. You see Sunland Park. I try to pick a place I think will be sunny and not canceled. So no trouble. Best bet in race number 1 at 3:25 p.m. Hopefully there's no trouble to bring home the W in the opener at Sunland Park at the free track of the day. All right, Charles, they're starting to load in for race number 1. As it stands right now, the 12-1 morning line, Call Bob, is 5-2. What do you think is going on there that we missed?
I don't know. There's something going on, like you said. The words around in the barns. That's what it is.
Well, he improved plenty in his second start there, right? Turfway Park. That was on the all-weather. I mean, so far you got 3 races, 3 different surfaces. Jackie Davis, great girl, but so far 0 for 35. Trainer, it's his first start of the year, so maybe he's putting his best of the product out early. Wants to get that win out of the way, so he doesn't go 0 for forever. What do you think about that, Charles?
Yeah.
So they're off and running, and the 3 horses definitely out there battling along with the 4 horse. The 4 horse is going to keep her to task. The Rudy Rodriguez horse. And then you got a group of other horses behind there, Charles. And that 3 horses definitely bounded out to the lead. The 6 and the 7 right now, they're competing for 3rd and 4th. The 7 horse getting a nice little trip, but he's going to have to go kind of wide out there, Charles. 3 horse maintains the lead. The 4 horse keeping that horse honest, Terry, as they go. Charles. They go through the turn. Opening quarter in 23 and 5, so not the fastest of all quarters. There's 1 horse coming up the rail like he's on fire, Charles. That's the 1 horse. But they obviously knew something about this 3 horse, Charles, because it looks like he's going to run away with the win there. Perhaps, he almost jumped over the fence there coming around the corner, though.
Yeah, he did.
And that bump into the fence might be a deal breaker for that horse, because the 1 horse is definitely coming up going to pass him at the end there. I think, Charles. It's going to go 1 and then 3 and then 2, it looks like. 1, 3, and 2. 1.
Yeah, he hit that rail, didn't he?
It looked like he did, because I thought I saw some snow come off there. 1.
Oh,
3,
yeah, snow did
5.
come flying off.
Yeah, and hitting that rail probably cost him the win. The 1 horse, Charles, hopefully you have the 1 in your pick 5 to get cracking. Nope. Always the next freaking horse, right?
It's always the next one.
Always the next one. Yeah, that horse is off for a long time, Charles, as you mentioned. Dylan Davis, been off for more than a year, ran on the turf the first time out, is the maiden special weight, 75,000. Pretty big drop there. I mean, this one didn't really run, been injured. I really wasn't impressed with a lot of the workouts, but you like the workout pattern, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, that one came home the winner, maiden claiming. Let's see if we can get on the board in race number 2, Charles.
Well, race number 2, we have a mile. Claiming price of 40,000, non-winners of 2 live. The purse is 45,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
At 1 mile, our profile of a winner says early speed, Charles, 36% of the time. Jerome Bettis, right? Probably the best 36, if that's his number, if I recall correctly. Post 1, 2, 3, a small discount. 4 through 7, a little bit of a bonus. And once again, we find that in this 1 mile turn, to be 8 or out is the best post position to own. Our early speed, Charles, favors whom?
Well, that would be the 7 at 81% chance of getting that lead. I don't see why not. That horse should get the lead, probably at the quarter pole, and it will be tough to catch. Simulation odds, we have the 1 at just slightly over even money. We have 6-1 morning line. We have the 3 at 3-1 and 6-1 morning line. We have the 5 at 3-1 and 5-1 morning line. So we got a couple of overlays in this race.
Yeah, indeed we do. And then really only one horse with a par plus, Charis, 16% chance to run a par figure of speed of over 82 or better. And then as far as our C-zone scores are concerned, Charles, we got a couple of them down here on the outside, the 5, 6, and 7. The 7 horse, interesting to me. We see this combination, C-zone, high C-zone, strong early pace, means it gets to the lead. It's comfortable on the lead. Let's see if our pace setup says it has a shot to get the lead. With the 4 scratching, the 5 becomes the lone E. So if the 5 pops out to the lead, you could see it do what the 3 did. But it looks like the 7, Lady Banker, is about a length quicker than Leadership Ability. On the way home, Charles, some late speed. We saw the 1 come from off the pace. Maybe it can do it again in race number 2 because the 1, a closer, has a 1 length lead coming home at the end of the race. Our top total pace in this place, Charles, is the 7. That one's 5 points clear of the next closest horse, meaning if they run to their pace figures, Charles, the 7 horse should win by a length. Then the 3, 5 battle it out for second and third. Then a big gap there between the 1, 2, and the 6 could come struggling at the end. Who do you have to win? The 6, of course.
I have the 6 on top. This horse drops in class. They're taking off the blinkers, and Christopher Clement gets 33% with that angle there. So I think that horse is going to be very, very much better, more alert. Second start after a layoff, and Clement gets 20% with that angle. Then I have the 7 as my second choice. Yes, the speed of the race going to be tough to catch. Rice gets 23% first after a claim. Totally fits with this group. And then the 3 is my third choice. Tactical speed, cuts back in distance, bred to go long, so should like this distance and everything. And then my fourth and price pick here is the 1. Another one that has that tactical speed to sit about 4th or maybe even 5th. And drops in class, back on the dirt, will be closing at the end, but I'm doing a $5 exacta box with my top 2 picks.
All right. I like the 7 horse, Charles, with all of that early speed in here, maybe a little too much for everybody to catch. And not only does that horse have that big early speed advantage, it also has the top total pace by a length, as we mentioned. Charis, the 1 horse, Trevor McCarthy, our good friend, been on the Horse Center show, and we had one plenty of times. We'll have another one coming up soon. Sean and I are putting that into the works, so stay tuned for that. You'll find out more about that in our social sites, which are supposed to be streaming below. But of course, yours truly is getting older and forgets the little things sometimes. The third pick for me in there, Charles. Well, let me say why Charis, along with being a stalker and a closer. Won the last time the horse made its first start after a layoff, like today. It was at a mile, like today. Has 4 workouts since its last race. Should be fit. Leadership ability, Kendrick Carmouche on a horse that went wire to wire for its W. Going to drop in class in its second start. I like Trevor on horses that come from off the pace. I love Kendrick on horses that are up front. Both of them should get the trip they want. Ocean Gateway, that 6 horse, Charles, your top pick. The one I said should be walking in at the wire. Dropping in class today, Charles, could be the favorite, but if you read through the past performances, you will find that horse always seems to either find trouble or trouble finds it. Trouble-free race could be the key. I'm going to do a $1 pick for 755 all. Race number 3 is what is next for you and I, my friend. So what do you see here?
You have 3 singles in a row. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, have you seen that? Have you ever seen that before?
Not from you. Third race, we got 6 furlongs, claiming price $25,000. Non-winners of 2 life. Purse is $36,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
So yeah, this is one of those races they put together to help the owners and trainers collect a few bucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years old and only won 2 races, which have never. So in other words, they've won 1 race.
Yep.
At 6 furlongs, the kind of horse that might win this race scheduled for horses to collect the check. 33% of the time they go wire to wire. Post 2 and 3, they underperform. The rail is really weak, so Golden Purchase may not live up to those 20-1 odds. 4 to 7, small bonus. And again, we find that if you wear the 8 or out, it's the best place to be, Charles. So a little bit of outside speed in race number 3, kind of middle-ish, but there's a few horses in here with giddy up and go.
Yeah, there's plenty of horses to get up and go, but the 5 has the best chance of getting lead at the quarter pole. The 2 might have a say in that, and I'm also going to say look out for the 7, that sneaky speed horse that could do something. And then when it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 horse at 2-1, and the morning line is 4-1. That's a nice little overlay. And then we have the 5 at just under 2-1, and it's 6-1 morning line.
Yeah, and then a couple horses in here with a chance to go over par. The 3 horse, Borletti, and the 5 horse, Sharp, has good chances to go over that. And the 5 horse, good shot to be up on the lead. So should be in a comfortable position, but not as comfortable as the 1, 2, or 4, according to C-Zone. That trio should really like the way this race is run in terms of its pace. Race 3, we have one of these lopsided races, Charles. Everybody except the 4 wants to be middle forward. So if that pace gets really hot, that lone closer, the Sesame Street horse, the 4 in there, could have a great positioning. The problem is perhaps, Charles, the 5 horse, Sharp, has a little bit too much early speed perhaps for the rest in here, about a length and a half quicker than everybody else. Should pop to the lead like we saw that 3 horse do in the opener, and they may not catch that one. If they do, it looks like Gun Maestro, Redemption Road, Alice Frost, and a bunch of them in here, Charles, really having very similar late speed. Really doesn't look like there's a big advantage. I'd rather be in front of those horses coming down the stretch. And then looking at the total pace, again, we see Sharpaz about a length, 3/4 of a length, better than everybody else. Only the 1 horse not fitting in there, Charles. Is that your top pick again?
No.
Right, good.
No, it's the 2. This horse, I think, has got the best tactical speed in here. This horse could sit first, second, third, doesn't matter. Has the closing speed. The trainer gets 30%. Second start after a claim. This horse ran 3rd last time, so I think everything's ready for this horse. The 7, I think, has that sneaky speed. 1 last time out. Trainer gets 14% with 46 plus days of rest, which could be the key to this horse. Nice and fresh. The 5 definitely has the speed, drops in class, fits with this group. The question is, will he hang on? And then the 6 ran even last time. Trainer gets 21%, second after a claim. Totally fits with this group. But I'm going with the $5 exactly with my top 2 picks, the 2 and the 7.
So yesterday we talked about that 4 horse in the last race. Was a big time favorite in that maiden claiming 12-5. Those maiden claimers at the end, anything can happen. Unfortunately, the 4 did do Abstruse Allen dirty yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's always the next horse, Charles, because we both had the 7 as our second pick and the 7-1. And I think it paid like $13, $14, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Even though I did not hit it, but even my pick, I think it was my pick 4, I had to put the 7 with that 4. But like I said on the show, I think I would rather just hit the all button than anything.
Yeah, we should single the 4 and take it out. Maybe we should have just singled the 7.
Well,
that would have been a smarter thing to do.
That's just terrible that the 4 can't perform it. The horse is always knocking on the door and just can't do it. So it's going to be a bridesmaid for the rest of its life, I believe.
No heart, Charles. No heart. Hopefully Shapraz does have a little bit of heart today. Does have that early speed advantage over everybody else. But what's even more interesting about that is if you look at that 5 horse, along with that early speed advantage, look at these mid-pace numbers in here, Charles. This horse has some really strong mid-pace. So it's going to be on the lead at the quarter-mile marker. I think it's going to pull away at the half-mile marker and maybe enough to discourage the rest of the horses to think they're running for second or third. I just hope that Romero Mara doesn't go out in like 44 or something silly like that. And I probably just put 44 on the clock. Borletti, the 3 horse, probably over his ability last time out, so dropping in class here. But he did manage to run 7 furlongs faster than he ran 6 furlongs in the previous start. Charles, this is your handicapping angle. Ran faster, ran longer, cutting back. Surprised he's not in your picks. 3-0. Trainer David Carlos. This guy, Charles, wins at 30%. 30% in his second start after a claim versus 18% overall. In the financial world, they call that a lot of alpha, an alpha angle. Number 7, Redemption Road. Never off the board in 8 races, Charles. This one is taking a step up, though, in terms of track coming in from Finger Lakes. So a track riser. Was a kind of tough call for me over the 6 horse Gun Maestro. Big difference between 6 hoes and 6 horses, Charles.
That's right.
Big difference. That's what I almost said. I don't even know where that came from. Just like sometimes the brain gets confused, or maybe other things on the mind. All right, Charles, race number 4. What do we have going on there?
Well, in the race number 4, we have 6.5 furlongs. At least we're getting a little variety of different type of races, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Claiming price of $32,000, purse is $55,000. This is for fillies, 3-year-olds.
And at 6.5 furlongs, the type of horse that collects the big check again has some early speed, 32%. Charles, the best 32 ever.
I don't know.
O.J. Simpson, hands down. I know he's a football player, not talking about person, football player. If you ever watch O.J. play, that guy was a phenomenal football player. Human being, different end of the scale.
Human being, well.
Yeah, football player here, human being there, right? Sort of thing. But anyway, the post position, Darth's Saw Dancer does get a little bit of an advantage. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 play a little bit under par. And then once again, we find that 8 and out, that does pretty well. So have some speed either on the rail, Charles, inside 3, or on the outside in race number 4. And the speed is kind of in the middle, not where you want it.
Yeah, not where you want it. The 5 has the 81% chance of getting the lead at the quarter pole. And I believe that to be true. But remember, these are just were 2-year-olds, just not even a month ago, 18 days ago. So, they're still young. They're still trying to figure things out. So I think you're going to see some other horses wake up a little bit. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 at, we have it just slightly under 2-1, and we have a 6-1 morning line, which is nice. The 5 just under 3-1, and we have 3.5-1 morning line, and then the 7 at 2-1 and 3.5-1 morning line. So a couple of small overlays, but not too bad.
You got 4 in here. They got the 3, the 5, 6, and 7, all strong par plus scores. Maybe a nice exact to trifecta box with those guys. Got the C-zone score here, the 2 and the 4 and the 7. So the 7 grading out in here is the horse with strongest par plus, strongest C-zone overlay, touching a lot of boxes there. Should probably sit in the stalker position. Good position to be in. Maybe the 7 horse is the one that should be on top and not the 5 in my singles, Charles. As far as our race pace is concerned, again, most want to be middle forward. The 6 horse, Ali Song, being the only closer, if it had a late race advantage, might be able to press that and bring home the W. Early on, it does look as if, though, Camus, about 6 points faster than everybody else, Charles, although it's going to have to do some work because a lot of that speed's to his inside, but still quick enough to probably clear everybody. The 4 might make it the most challenging early on. On the way home, pretty up. Taven, these horses have the most late speed, but pretty up is a little bit quicker than everybody else down the stretch. Maybe 3/4 of a length faster, but about 1.25 lengths slower out of the gate. So we're going to have to be a little closer to the front than usual. Our top total pace horse being Camus in here, Charles, along with Taven. You see this one kind of ticking down a little bit. So a very competitive race, although I singled the 5 in my pick 4, Charles. You don't even have the 5 in your picks.
No, I think it's a very, very tough race. That's why I was kind of surprised that actually you singled this race. The first race.
You should never be surprised by anything I do, Charles.
From you? Yeah, no kidding. But I chose the 3 as my top choice. This horse won last time out. This is a second time with blinkers. If you look, it won last time out with the first time with blinkers. So blinkers is the key to this horse. Rudy Rodriguez gets 19% with 46 plus days of rest. And makes this the now horse, if you ask me. The one last time, well bet also last time, drops in class. I mean, there's a lot of things to like about that horse. The 6 ran even, dropped in class. Cox gets 36% first time Lasix. Plus, Cox has been pretty hot of late in the last 14 days. And then the 4, blinkers come off. This is my price horse. This blinkers come off. The trainer gets 19% with that angle. You got a 5 pounds off of this horse, which might help this horse. Totally fits with this group. That's why I said it's kind of wide open. And I took all 4 of them this pick 5. And I'm going with my top 2 picks in leg number 2 and 3. And then leg 4, I'm taking my top 3 picks. And then the final 5th leg, I'm taking my top 2.
Well, we don't even need to do any handicapping anymore, Charles, because we already know who's going to win this race. Hands down, easy winner in here. That's going to be the 2, Grace Reformed. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you have the 1, you have the 3, you have the 4, I have the 5, I have the 6, I have the 7. The only horse that we don't have between you and me, the 2 horse. So, folks, go out, call your mortgage broker today, kidding, of course, and whatever equity you have, just go put it on Grace Reformed. It's going to win running away, Mr. Charles. I think the 5 horse, I singled it. I think this one's going to have too much early speed for the rest of this group. Does have that 5 or 1 length early speed edge over everybody else. But what seals the deal for me is the horse is going to get Lasix first time in its 2nd career start. So any move forward off of its debut, and it could make a mockery of this group, not including the 2, of course. The 2 will make it challenging. Number 7, Taven, another horse that you don't have that I do have to make my exacta here. That last race was better than it looks on paper, perhaps. Much improved 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers. Going to catch a little bit of weight break today with that early race improvement. And look at that top total par plus score and strong C-zone. Those combinations usually do well. The 3 horse pretty up. We finally agree on something in here. Charles, comment from the last race, said this horse, the last one to break, went 4 wide, dueled for the win, and has 4 workouts since. That's a pretty rough trip to get your W in, Charles, no?
Very rough, but I mean, that's why I think the blinkers was the key to that horse. Kept him focused. He didn't give up, or he didn't get scared or anything like that.
No, I just hope he didn't work too hard, but had some time off and 4 maintenance workouts, should be fit in there.
Yeah.
And then finally, another one that we agree on, Ali Song, sizable class drop in, Charles's favorite handicapping angle, the 3rd after a layoff. In all of the race internals last time out, were better across the board, so improved. I'm going to do a try 5-7, 3-5-7 over the 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Want to say thank you to the wonderful, fantastic Beverly Taylor for the thumbs up on Facebook. If, like Beverly, you like what we do here, kindly give us a thumbs up as well. Share our content with your friends and family, however you communicate on social networks. You can see all of ours down there. Horse Race, the number 2 day. Horse Race, the number 2 day. We should have some good stuff over at horseracingtoday.net this weekend, too. I think, what is it? The Lecomte is this weekend, Charles, if they don't cancel racing down there in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And that's one of those Kentucky Derby qualifiers. So we'll have an article about that as well over at horseracingtoday.net by Saturday. So keep an eye out for that. All right, Charles, halfway through the card now, race number 5. Tell us the conditions.
6.5 furlongs. Maiden claiming $40,000. Purse is $43,000. The maidens, fillies, 3-year-olds. Folding, of course, again, here we are in New York, and this is a New York state bred race.
All right. So at that distance, Charles, of 6.5 furlongs, earlier on, we mentioned that you want a horse that has some early speed. 32% of the time they get to the lead, they keep the lead, and they go right into the winner's circle. Get a little bit of a rail bonus for Saul Imperatriz, whatever. That's my brother's name, by the way, Saul. This gets the rail bonus. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7 get a little bit of a discount. 8 and out, a bonus. Charles, again, inside or outside speed in race number 5. What's cooking here with the speed?
We have the 3 at 67% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. And I think it could be true, but you got to look out for the 1 personally, I believe. But you got to also look out for that 9 on the outside. Might be pushing things because he's out there. Simulation odds, we have the 1 at just under 2-1, and we have 6-1 morning line, which is a nice overlay. And then we have the 7 at just right about even money, and we have 2.5-1 morning line. And that's it when we got for overlays.
Yeah, look at the call your bluff right here, Charles. Strong simulation. Good chance to go par plus. Beautiful C-zone score. And over here on the 1, big overlay, strong par plus. Going to be part of the pace. Would have liked a little bit better C-zone score for that one. But looking at the race shape, Charles, the 2, the 4, and the 8, they're going to give it a go for the first time today. And I didn't really see a whole lot in any of them in the workouts to trainers, the breeding, to really give me a lot of hope for any of them. This race should favor the 1, the 9, or the 7 as they're forwardly placed. It looks like the 3 horse, along with the 1 and the 6. So the 6 being a little left arrow action, although it hasn't finished within 5 lengths of the winner in its efforts so far. As they come around the stretch for home, call your bluff, call her bluff. The pressure horse, which should be in a pressure position, has a pretty good advantage, Charles, over the other experienced horses, about 3 lengths. Probably only going to be about 1.5 lengths off the lead. Could be an excellent prime position to pounce at the end. And then also of the experienced horses, Charles, 8-point total race advantage in that one. Maybe I should have singled this one too and just made it a straight up 1-1-1-1 pick 4, like Moses Malone said.
Excuse me. But you did hit the all button though, right? I think.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find a price maybe in the maiden.
Yeah, I mean, this race could. Yeah, this is a weird race. I like the 6 horse. It drops in class. The trainer gets 27% straight maiden to a maiden claiming. You got Brown, Franco combo. So hey, look out with that. The 7 ran even last time. Drops in class. Rudy gets 18% with first time maiden claiming. So yeah, that's a tough top 2. But then, like I said, that 1's got sneaky speed. Well bet last time. The rail gets 22%. So you might have a shot there, getting a little price coming in. And then the first time starters, I'll take one of them. I think this is the best of them. Was it 4 or 3? But
I think there's a trio of them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the best of the 3 of them. I believe is the 8. The Dam has 2 winners from 5 starters. Solid workout pattern. So it kind of looks like this horse fits with this group. But I think I would take other first-time starters before that. But I'm taking a nice cold exacta 6 on top of the 7.
So we'll talk about the second race in just a couple of seconds, Satish. We did go through our picks. Let me run through mine. I got the 7 as my top pick. Call her bluff. That one's my top pick. Sim favorite, top C-zone, lone P horse, total pace, +6 of the experienced horses. Saul, Imperatriz, speed and fade as the beaten favorite. I expect her to be better in the second career start. Collect the data, speed, like that. First Lasix, like that. Maiden special weight dropper, like that. Second race after a layoff, like that. Find Your Joy, also a maiden special weight dropper, but it's been off since early August. Some really nice workouts prepping for its return. Pick 4, I'm going to go with my top 4 picks. 2-9. I was thinking about singling the 2 horse there, Charles, but just in case. 2, 4, 5. I was thinking about going 2 there too, but I had a little money to spend. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. Little preview of that last race being one I think is wide open. Looking at race number 2, there are our picks for you. So you can get a sense of what we're looking at, Satish. Hopefully, one of these horses comes home a winner. Right now, according to the betting public, it does look like the 6 horse is the 4-5 favorite. And last time the people on the ground, they knew something, Charles. Do you think they know something once again today in race 2?
Well, if they know something, but apparently I must have caught wind of it too myself with the 6. So
Charles with the inside connections. I have the pick 4. I singled the 7, Charles. And if that 7 comes home at 9-1, I'm going to be feeling pretty good there, my friend.
Yeah, you singled out that 7. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can understand it. But the I think it was your third leg. It was like, whoo, that was a gamble, I think.
Well, I mean, it's all gambling, right, Charles? I felt like that these horses had some in-race advantages over the others to give them a shot to win. So that 7 horse, if it can break clean to the lead like the 3 horse did and run reasonable fractions, maybe it can stay on the lead like the 3 horse did, and we can see a day of bunch of horses getting to the lead,
trust me, I want
staying
the
on the lead.
7 to win on top of the 6, so that'd be a nice exacted that way.
Yeah, let's cross our fingers. 7's ears are nice and perked too there, Charles. He looks ready to go. They're not going like this. He's not like, what's going on. They're like this. He's intent to go, Charles. Let's see if that works out. You're paying attention to, the 7's race is over. There you go, folks. But he still got the lead somehow, Charles.
Oh, how? He went straight down to his nose.
Yeah, he did. He tasted some dirt there. Imagine if he didn't stumble. I mean, you think that was a little too much?
It might have been, and the rider can only do what he had to do. He had to get this horse picked up and go.
But it didn't seem like any of the other horses really came out of the gate all that fast.
No, they didn't.
I mean, it looks like right now the 6 should beat the 7 after that start, right?
After that start, you're right. But
what do the fractions look like? 24 and 3. It's not the fastest of fractions. I mean, not the slowest either. Especially coming off of that stumble right there, Charles.
Right.
It looks like really nobody's really coming at the end here, Charles. The 7's making that 6 work. That'd be interesting. I mean, a 6 should beat him, Charles. Don't you feel like?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt.
But he's made the 6 run too wide all the way around the track. Like the 6 never got to save any ground.
They are just battling it.
Yeah, here comes that 1 horse again, coming off the pace again. Looks like the 1 might come off the pace.
6 finally got him now. Now it's the question: can the 7 hang on for second?
No, he's not going to hang on for second.
He's not going to hang on for second.
It's going to be the 1 horse. He's not even going to hang on. He's going to hang on for 4th, maybe. I would say, honestly, put that 7 horse in your horses to watch, because that race
he was tasting dirt. I mean, there was no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, we both said race is over, right?
Yeah.
And he ended up finishing. I mean, he walked home for 4th, but a big gap between the next couple.
That was a hell of a. That was still a hell of a ride. The rider had to do what he had to do. You break, you fall down like that. You just pick up your horse and just tell him to go. And then you'll see if there's anything hurt on him after the first couple of steps.
Mm-hmm.
The jockey probably thought he's so far behind. Because he was looking at the dirt himself too, so he didn't know where
doing everything he could do not to fall off.
Yeah, so he did what he had to do, is put that horse right up there in front and go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, that race was over when it started for the.
That was definitely not a jockey problem. Actually, the jockey probably had him finish a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, again, I would put Lady Banker in your horses to watch, because that race was when, like, people who didn't see that race and go back and they look at the past performances, they're going to see that speed and fade. Maybe the comment will say stumble, but they're not going to know just how poorly that horse got off to the start.
Yeah.
Race number 6, Charles, is let's see. My horse stumbled. It can only get better for me now.
That's right. 6.5 furlongs, claiming price of 10,000. Purse is 28,000. This is for 4-year-olds and upward. Really simple here.
Yeah, keeping it basic. In race number 6, what we're looking for, again at 6.5 furlongs, they're 3rd in a row that they're going to do at this distance. So early speed, 32% they go wire to wire. We have seen early speed hang in there so far today, but a couple of closers won the first race. The closer came in second. And that race right there. So maybe there's not that big of a bias today. 2 in the rail bonus, 2 and 3 play fair, 4 through 7 a discount, 8 and out a bonus as well. And we do see the rail horse showing up in both races so far with a win and a place. So maybe the 1 is a good horse to have in your picks. Race number 6, Charles. There is a 1 horse, but he's not riding the rail. It looks like that's going to be the 2 horse, Colonel Vargo. Still don't know how you get an R sound out of that, but you do. It's also going to probably be on the lead.
Yeah, actually the 2, it has a 72% chance of getting the lead at the quarter pole. And, I believe that to be true on this race. There's a couple of speed horses like the 7 in there, that might have a little say in that. But I think the 2 is the 1. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the two, excuse me, because I keep on looking at the first spot. I want to say one. The two gets around 3 to 5, and you got slightly over, like almost just under 2 to 1 at the morning line. So we're pretty good at that. And then that is it when it comes to simulation odds.
Yeah, it's also pretty much it for par plus. A huge chance, about a 55% chance to run a speed figure above par of 89 for this level. Only the 7 has a similar shot, and they're not even similar, but a chance to go over. It also has the strongest par plus. I mean, no reason, according to our simulations, for the 2-horse not to win this race. Charles, looking at race number 6 early on, well, nobody really wants to be the pilot or co-pilot type. There's only co-pilots with the 1 and the 4. 2 and 7, they have some versatility, Charles, so they can sit behind a 2 and 4 or 1 and 4 if they go too slow. If they go, too fast, to go too slow, they can take charge. Looking at the early speed, though, it does look like the 2-horse can take the lead, can do so without really working that hard. It's about a length and 3/4 faster than the 7-horse Swift Happen. Got a little bit of a fall off down here. 2, a good shot to get to the front, maybe go wire to wire, because it also has some of the best late speed. Not quite as good as the 9 or the 1, but still, it might be far enough in front of those 2 that they can't catch it at the end. Also has an 8-point total pace advantage over the 9 and then the 1. And again, the big gap between the 9 and the 1. So maybe a 2-9 exacta box or an ice cold 2-9, Charles.
How about 2-1? But no, I do like the 2 on top. Like we said, the speed of this horse drops in class. You got a hot jockey trainer combo in the last 14 days. And if you open up your wallet, you could claim this horse. And I think it'd be a good claim. Matter of fact, the 3 horses I said yesterday, 2 of the 3 got claimed yesterday. But
someone's
anyway,
watching the show, huh?
Yeah, someone's watching the show. But I think this would be one of them. Be a nice claim. The 1 is my second choice. Ran second, drops in class, will be closing. The 4 is my third choice. First, you got to toss out that last race. And this horse has got some of that tactical speed. Put it right there. Cuts back in distance. Totally fits with this group. And then the 9 is my final choice. This horse won last time out. Trainer gets 26% first after the claim and 22% with 46 plus days of rest. So a lot of things to like about that horse, but I think they still got to beat that 2. So the 2 is, I think, is really more of the leaner that you should look at. But then the rest after that, I think it's wide open.
So, Scary, are you talking about which horse are you talking? Explain the ride on the leadership ability in race 2. Broke, stayed in the middle of the stretch, never asked him to run the whole race. Really, these types of things should be investigated and doesn't happen in other countries. Rider would be suspended. Which horse are you talking about? Because the 7-horse was on the rail. The 6-horse was in the middle, and it ended up winning that race, right, Charles? The 6-horse?
Yeah, the 6-horse won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So which horse are you referring to? Is it maybe so I know the 7-horse with that bad break. I'm sure the jockey just knew the horse was tired, right?
Oh, yeah, there's no way. There's no doubt in my mind that horse was tired. And plus it's also a psychic thing, like if you were in a race and just, let's just say a small marathon, even if it's for 1 mile or 5 miles, you stumble and fall down, the first thing is panic in your head. Is that everyone's leaving you behind. That's the same thing in a horse. It's panic. They don't want to fall. Trust me, they don't.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't want to fall. I
don't
have one of those devices if I can't get up.
I do.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you do. All right. Number 2, Colonel Vargo is the big simulation favorite. Does have by far the best part. I mean, all those numbers are dark green, Charles. There's really no reason why this horse doesn't win this race. Unless if it doesn't, maybe Scary, it should be investigated.
Well, I'd like to know which horse he was talking about, really.
Yeah, me too. So if you can put that in the comment. Number 5, leadership ability. Oh, okay. The run on that horse, the 5-horse. Yeah, because we thought the 5-horse had a shot to get to the lead. It never really did go for it, right?
Right, never did.
And the 7 did go for the lead. The 6-horse, I mean, That one shouldn't have been. The 5 should have pressed too. Yeah, I agree with you. I have to go back and look at the replay on that one and see what.
Well, the 7-6 got out to a huge lead, at least 3.5 lengths, at least.
Mm-hmm. And then, so we're on race 6, right?
Yeah.
After the 2 horse, I like the 9 horse. Is my next pick. That one's FF Rocket. I like this because he was claimed, right? Charles' last race out, and he was claimed by who? The trainer. So the trainer bought this one on purpose. Now, if you're a trainer, Charles, and you go claim a horse, I have to imagine that you're looking at it out of your own pocketbook, a little more scrutiny than you might out of others, right?
Yes, you're using all the. Let's put it this way: you cross every T and dot every I, because when you have owners claiming horses, you'll find something maybe not quite right with the horse, or it doesn't have a condition left, and the owner still likes the name of the horse, or the owner used to own it a long time ago. So you have other factors with owners, but with trainer, you just cut and dry. It's everything cross T's, dot I's. It has to pass every test.
And another test that it's passing is each passing work, getting ready for today, is getting better and better. So that's why I put the 2 and the 9 in my pick 4 as well, because I'm thinking Robert Falcone Jr., not a bad trainer. He bought the horse. He claimed it for a reason, put it in his own barn. He must have really saw something that he liked.
Wants a moneymaker. He wants something to pay some bills.
First Deputy, the 1 horse. This is my good friend Terry Zangle. It was a part of a entry earlier on, but the 1 Mi Tres por Ciente, scratched. Terry says, trust the trainer. When there's an entry, they scratch one. The other one wins an awful lot. And this one also has our good friend Barry Meadows' speed figure angle in there. 3 consecutive speed figure increases. That's a 15% plus winner, taking a small drop in class after improving all of its race internals last time out. And then the 7 horse Swift Tap is the only other horse in this field. Fair odds, strong par plus, strong C zone score. 2, 9, 1, and 7. I don't have any money left because I made a big bet in my pick 4. I do have 1 bet left in the last race of the day. In race number 7, Charles, 2 races to go. Watch the race again. Never gave an ounce of effort. Get huge lead because Kendrick didn't ask the horse for anything, just dropped back to the back of the field on the 5 horse. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the notes were. I do think that they should be questioned like they are in Europe. Like, why did this happen? And then let the jockey explain.
Didn't the 5 finish 3rd?
Did he finish 3rd?
I don't know. I'm asking.
No, he finished. No, it went 6-1, 2-7.
Oh,
I think the 5, I think, might have finished dead last.
Might have. There could have been something. I mean, there's honestly, especially who was on that 5?
Kendrick,
especially with Kendrick, I would assume that there's definitely a reason. Kendrick's it's not one of those that gives up very easily. There's some jockeys that definitely give up very easily. I bet you the stewards will call him in though. Yeah. They will call him in on the next day. What they'll do is they'll leave him a message to come in and see the stewards first thing in the morning, and he has to explain what happened to that horse in that race. It could be the horse was not breathing right, or had a bad step, or wasn't just quite in a good stride, and he was worried about the horse.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see the comments. But one thing I do like about Europe that we don't have here, though, is that steward meeting here will be behind closed doors, and in Europe it makes the race notes, which I'd like to see the race notes too, because if the horse, I don't know what, he heard a cracking sound or whatever the reason, he may not have gone all out on that horse. I'd like to know that, so when the horse is back out on the track next time, if there's a cracking sound, is he sound? You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I think that would be another good thing that racing can do. There's a lot of good things that racing can do to improve the sport, and that would probably be one of them, like you just said.
Yeah, I think transparency for the bettors. Another one, of course, was to close the window to the syndicates at least 2-3 minutes before the race starts, so that so 2-1s don't have 1-2s at the 6 furlong marker.
But I would say out to Scary. I think personally, I think Kendrick is not one of those jockeys that gets frustrated right away.
So 7 furlongs, Charles, in race number 2, right? Did you go through all of this green?
No, I have not yet. And we got 7 furlongs. Yes, we got a optional claiming price of 45. Non-winners of 2. This purse is 74,000. This is for 4-year-olds and upward. Foaled in the state of New York, and for registry New York breds, it's never won 18,000 other than maiden claimings or starter, which have never won 3 races or optional claiming price of $45,000.
And for the first time today at 7 furlongs, we're going to learn all about the profile of a winner there. Are you guys on mute? I don't think we're on mute. Can everybody else hear us? I'm not muted. Scary, can you hear us? Let us know in the comment section if you can hear us. I hope we're not on mute for the whole show.
Maybe we should be doing a Verizon commercial right now. Can you hear me now?
Well, after the first 2 races, maybe we want to be on mute. Well, you had the 6-horse winning anyway.
Yeah.
7 single. Killed my really inexpensive pick 4. But the 7, if he doesn't stumble, Charles, he may have been the winner.
Yeah.
Would you take even money on the 2 in the 6th race at fixed odds, fellas? The 2-horse, and
yes.
I think there's no reason for that horse not to win. Again, I think there should be an investigation. You should be called into the steward's office right after the race if the 2-horse doesn't win.
Yeah.
So it means the only one I would definitely bet the 2-horse on is this upcoming race because it's the only one Charles and I don't have. But in race 7 at 7 furlongs, stalkers do really well. 18% of the time they go wire to wire. Rail is fair, so Market Alert does all right there. Small discount if you wear 2, 4, 5, 6, or 7. And again, we find that on the outside, 8 and out is the best place to be. Charles, so some speed in race number 7. And that 8-horse being outside, but he's really 7th today because of the scratch.
Yes, it's a 46% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. The 5 might have a say in that, and I do believe the 5, personally, I think will have the lead itself at the quarter pole. The simulation odds, what will we have here? We have the 2 at just under 2 to 1. We have 8 to 1 morning line. We have the 4 at just over even money. We have 2 to 1 morning line, and that's all we got when we got overlays. We got a couple of them though.
Must be me, thanks. Yeah, I don't know what's maybe sometimes for me in my computer, Philip, this happens every day, and it drives me absolutely bonkers because I don't understand why it switches. But down in the bar at the bottom of your window where you have like your icons and you have the one of the speaker, if you right mouse click the speaker, it'll say sound settings. Maybe the tab is not to the right speaker or headphones that you have on. For whatever reason, mine always switches to some other headphones I don't even have on the computer, and I can't understand what headphones it's talking about, but it's always switched to that one, and I have to change it every day, and it drives me nutty. 2 horses with strong par pluses, the 2-horse and the 4-horse, particularly the 4-horse, Radio Red. A bunch of horses should enjoy the pace right in here, Charles, with a strong C-zone. In race number 7, the opening leg of the late daily double. Again, most of the horses middle forward. You got the 4, the 6, and the 8. They're pilot, co-pilot types, so any of them could take the lead. Does look like the PC in here, though, Charles. Onmundson High School here in Chicago. I think my mother went to that one. That one could be a little bit quicker than everybody else, but if you look, 4 of the 7 horses, Charles, are going to be on that gas early on, maybe being in the middle with a little bit of extra late speed. The Institute, boy, talk about late speed, Charles, 100, triple digits for our calculation. That is stakes level material. Probably not going to be all that far off the pace with this group. And then your total top pace horse in here, Charles, you got the 2 and the 4. But again, minus the 3 and 8, a really competitive race. So 5 of the, 5 of the 7 horses, a good shot to win. Who do you got?
Yeah, I got the 3. I got the 3 on top. One last time out, Cox and Franco combo. Can't say much more about that. Tactical speed. This horse will be sitting probably 3rd most likely. So look out. The 4 is my second choice here. Ran 2nd last time. This horse is 6 for 10 in the money in life. So always on the board, basically. Tactical speed totally fits with this group. The 2 is my 3rd choice here. Won the last 2 times. This horse will definitely be closing at the end. as we just saw the number on there, a big 100.
Hundy.
Fits with this group. And then the 5 is my final choice here. This horse has the speed to try to steal it, but I don't know if it can hang on. Ran third last time, well bet. And so that's what I got.
Yeah, there's different chats across the board, Janet. You can talk there. And now we're actually on Twitter too, apparently. So you can go Twitter. I think we can do Instagram, but I have to like get a token every single day and then put that token in there to go live on Instagram, which is Facebook anyway, if I remember correctly. But I'm always rushing at the end and to have to get that token to go onto Instagram. I should probably do it, but I will eventually. I'll round my schedule into being able to do that. I got the 5 horse. Onmundson, Mr. Charles, is my top pick in here. Lone PC's got all that early speed, Charles, and the top C-zone score. Should be really comfortable with its position and can use its speed early or late, I feel like, to get the job done. Radio Red did run the top last 3 speed figure by 8 points. Again, the godfather of speed figures, Andrew Beyer, says if they run 3 or more, better keep an eye on that one. 8 certainly accomplishes that task. Top par plus, sim favorite, top total pace horse, and showed a lot more enthusiasm late last out, Charles. Right? A lot of reasons why the 4 horse should probably win. The 2 horse, the Institute, it won its last 2 races, Charles. It is the simulation favorite in here. Also one of 2 horses with a par plus score in there. But as we mentioned, that horse has an incredible late pace advantage over the rest of the field. And our good friend Trevor McCarthy on a closing horse. I mean, to me, that's glove in hand. They fit better than OJ's glove. And then finally, the 3 horse Rocket and Roll, 3rd start after a layoff. 2 nice workouts in between and a class drop. I cannot tell you how many times in my notes I have seen class drop and workout ending up in the horse that won. No bets for me as we go into the last race of the day, Charles. And this is another one, I feel like, to close out the card in race number 8, where you can pretty much just chalk it up to anything could happen. And if you have the budget, maybe the all button, that big word might be the best.
6 furlongs, maiden, purse of 70,000. This is for 3-year-olds that are just state bred of New York.
6 furlongs. You do want a horse with a little bit of early speed, but stalkers do great, yet 33% of the time. Tony Dorsett goes wire to wire. Weak rail for Solo Empire. 2 and 3 underperform as well. 4 through 7 get a small bonus. And again, we find out that if you're on the outside, you got the best chance. Although it looks like the 1 horse today is running pretty well at Aqueduct too. In race number 8, Charles, a lot of horses making some first starts or making 2nd or 3rd starts. So the data is a little bit perhaps light, but nonetheless, Lil Lang should be a little fast early on.
Could be a little fast, but remember, once again, this is maidens. But the 7 has a 92% chance of getting the lead. Right now, that's how I see it too. But, you know, there's some horses in here that
you don't know what the first time, you have no idea what the first timers are going to do.
Yeah, you don't know, and they could do it, and they're bred to do it. So this is a very well-bred race. Let's put that away. Simulation odds. What do we have? Do we have anything? Oh, yeah, the 7. Look at that. 2-1 and 12-1 morning line. That's a serious overlay.
It is, but again, that's based upon having some numbers, and a lot of the other ones don't.
And you got the 12 at 12-1 and 15-1 morning line, so it's not bad overlay.
Yeah, and you know, of the horses with some experience, it does look like the 7, if it gets to the lead, should be perfectly comfortable on that lead, Charles. As I mentioned, you have a host of horses in here: the 6, the 8, the 10, and the 13. So a quartet trying it for the first time. All these horses here, Charles, haven't finished within 5 lengths of the leader. The 2 and the 4 horse, so far, they've shown that they can be a part of the pace and finish, close enough to the front. They want to be on the front. But if you look at this 7 horse, Charles, look at that, 101 early. I mean, that's stakes level early race ability, Charles. That's, if he can find that late pace stuff, you might see this one run in some high quality races once it finds the winner's circle, especially if it can get some late race stamina. The late speed heavyweight champs, Sorority Prank, those 2 should be up front, should be able to maintain their position. And then as far as your late speed is concerned, of all the first-time starters, you got the 4, the 7, and the 2, Charles, all in a class of their own. I mean, the experienced horses. So the question is, to me, this race comes down to the 4, 7, and 2 versus the 6, 8, 10, and 13. Which bucket are you picking from?
I'm going with the first-timers bucket.
Hmm.
Because I really do like the way a couple of the first-timers are looking on paper. The 13, the dam has 3 winners from 4 starters. One of them's a stakes horse. Brown gets 19% with first-time starters. Look at how well this horse is bred. Solid workout pattern. I mean, this is a nice horse. And then the 8 is my second choice. Dam has 7 winners from 7 starters, and 3 of them are stakes. So, I mean, you can't ask Mama to do much more. She did her job. So, Ward gets 27% with first-time starters. You got a hot jockey the last 7 days aboard, totally bred for this race. And then a horse that's ran third last time, third start after a layoff, and Maker gets 19% with that 9. So the 9 has a little talent also. And then the 7, as we've been talking about, speed. Can it keep it going? Trainer gets 17% with second race. Totally fits with this group. All you have to do is get that horse to calm down just a little bit. But the thing is, Frankel is not riding that horse as he did last time.
So I, too, like the 8 horse is my top pick. You have it as your second pick. Last Drink, first-timer in a sprint for trainer Wesley Ward. So you see Wesley Ward in sprint, particularly on the grass. But we had Chantel Sutherland on one time, a couple times, on our Horse Center show. And she mentioned that when she rode a Wesley Ward horse for the first time, she said they're a little bit different than all of the other horses that she's ridden for trainers coming out of the gate. So you have to hold on for dear life, because she said those horses pop the gate like no others. I wouldn't be surprised to see Last Drink do that today. Irish Tenor. This is one of Barry Meadows' favorite handicapping angles too for the 6 horse. Look at that. Last workout, the Bullet and Go, fastest of 199. I know Charles doesn't put a whole lot of weight into workouts. The data says that Bullet and Go angle wins at 15% or more. But still, fastest of 199, that's pretty good stuff right there, in my opinion. I also like the 13 horse St. Gaudens as my third choice. Charles, you got Chad Brown on a first timer. I mean, Chad Brown dominates New York. You can't overlook a Chad Brown horse. You got that strong breeding in there. Just the workouts aren't as good as the 6 or the 8s, in my opinion. But with a Chad Brown horse, maybe he's holding a little bit back. And then finally, the 7 horse Lil Lang, decently bet in its debut, does have some speed, faded a little bit. I think today, if it has any more stamina, could upset all of the first timers. I'm going to go 8, 6, 13 over to 8, 6, 13 over to 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, and 13. And it was really a tough call between doing that and just boxing my 4. But I like a couple of other ones maybe in there to upset too. That's why that makes my pick 4. I mean, and they're also on my pick 4 as well. Here are our picks for the entirety of this day, Mr. Charles. Race 3. I think it's pretty close to kicking off. Yeah, it looks like they're about to go in the gates. Real quick again, before we tell you what we see in race 3. Here you can see race 1 at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Link down in the description below is our free track of the day. Again, yesterday, you couldn't help but print money if you played our free picks at Tampa Bay Downs. Hopefully, we can do that on back-to-back days. I'm not quite sure, Charles, what myself and Thomas will do for Foreign Fridays tomorrow. He hasn't gotten to me on that one yet. But I do know that on Monday and Tuesday, Terry and I will get together for Parks. Next Wednesday, you and I will get together, Charles, for Gulfstream Park. And on Friday, we'll do Aqueduct. Thursday, we'll do Aqueduct again. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so they are loading in the gates for race number 3. Let's see right now what the odds look like in race 3. Your favorite at this point is the 6 horse at 5-2, so not a big favorite in there, Charles. And they're off and running in the 3rd race. The 2 horse, one of the few horses that we said would have a good shot to get to the lead, did get out. The 5 horse, Sharpens, the one that we projected to be the leader at the quarter-mile marker, has indeed taken over the race. you got a bunch of horses in there trying to compete right behind the 5 horse, the 2, then the 7, and it looks like the 6 on the outside. Once again, the 1 horse in the back of the pack really coming on at the end, but he might not have enough ground to make up here at the end. 4 horse, if you bet Al's Frosted, folks, you might as well just take the ticket, crumble it up, and Covey it into garbage. His day is over. The 5 horse continues to have the lead. Charles, the 7 horse, that's another one that you can put in the trash can. His day's done too. Coming around the stretch, the 5 horse continues to hold the lead. The 3 horse is trying to make up ground on the outside. So it looks to me like it's going to go 3-5. The question is who's going to finish in third. The 5 horse continuing to hang in there, but the 2 horse, Charles, might make it a race at the end here, Charles. The 3 horse is going to take the lead going into the stretch to the finals. It's going to go 3, 5, and 2. 3, 5, and 2. Borletti coming home. Again, this is why we run these numbers, Mr. Charles. Your top par plus horse in the race, Mr. Charles. Also one of the better horses in terms of our simulated odds. Looking over at race number 2, the 3 horse grading out as the second. Oh, that was the wrong race. Great at the bottom of the pack down here, but you have to look at the composite picture. Charles, 3 horse having the win there. The 5 horse did finish second with the top total pace in there. So 5 horse would have been good key. The 3 horse went off at 5-2. This is interesting, Charles. The 2 horse was the favorite at 9-2. I would have been happier with the 5 horse winning, but it still should be a nice should still be a decent trifecta, I think. No,
should be.
Yeah, because the 6 horse was 5-2 too, and that one ran out of the money altogether. All right, that wraps it up for today, Mr. Charles. Any final thoughts before you and I get out of here today?
No, that's about it. I got a couple of basketball picks.
Yesterday you didn't give any, and it's my fault for not reminding you.
No, and I forgot when we got off. Well,
and let me guess, you went 5 for 5, right? The 44 pound mask got away.
I really did go 5 for 5. That's funny how you say it, but that's okay. Florida Atlantic tonight and Memphis tonight. Tease them both down 4 points. You got it right there. I'm 7.
Florida Atlantic and Memphis again. We gotta. Remind me next week, Charles, to create a. I'll create a sheet for your picks, and we'll go back through and we'll keep track of what you're doing so that they're on the computer, so people can come back and look at them at the end of the day. In fact, do you have Twitter, Charles, or no?
Yeah.
So why don't you tweet them out and then also put them out your give people your Twitter handle right now.
Did I say bet?
Did I say bet?
Right,
so it's at Did I Say Bet. All right, folks. Charles is at Did I Say Bet. He will tweet out his college basketball picks, and starting next week, we'll put them on there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and Friday too. Just email them to me, Charles, if you'd be kind enough, so I can add them to the shows.
Okay. Yeah. Right now I'm 7-2 on the show, but we'll see how we do this.
Yeah, and 5-5 yesterday.
If I wish one of my buddies would chime in and tell the truth. I gave him the 5 winners. So. All
right. Well, whether you have 5 winners or not today, folks, we certainly hope that no matter what you do, everything ends up, everything gets God's favor. Texas 9.5 underdog seems too much to me against Baltimore. Yeah, on the road against a team with the bye week with a smash mouth defense, but it does seem like a lot. Same with Green Bay. They're like a double-digit underdog too. And there's no quarterback in the league that's hotter than Jordan Love. I think he's got 22 touchdowns and 1 interception in the last 7 games. Guys in fuego, as they used to say on ESPN. Anyway, good luck with that. If you're doing NFL bets, horse racing bets, hopefully your jockey rides the horse from the beginning of the race to the end of the race. We all want to see that.
Yeah.
We also want to see God's grace and God's favor and everything end up in
the winner circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us. Keep an eye on the social sites so you know what we're doing for Foreign Fridays. Always fun with Tom. Till then, have a fantastic, terrific Trent Thursday.